Welcome to the Multichain Nation. Today we have Luki Song, a core contributor of Chainbase. Thank you for joining me, Luki.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's exciting to have you on and talk about Chainbase. It's doing something pretty different than I'm used to talking about, especially bringing all that data AI, data for AI in the blockchain world. So I want to learn much more about that. So please give me the rundown of Chainbase.
Yes, yes. Well, thank you so much. This is really exciting. Yeah, Chainbase, as you mentioned, we're more about data. We started as a SaaS project in crypto, very Web 2, because we realized the fragmentation in crypto data. So we started to decode and abstract the blockchain data, serve different blockchains, different ecosystem for the developers to utilize and sync it into their infrastructure. And then that was our bread and butter at the very beginning. But then what we realized was it wasn't sustainable because we have more and more developers coming in asking for different kind of data, blockchain data, different parameters. So it became really heavy for the team, and we had to make sure that our customers are satisfied and also making sure our monitors and our nodes are up to the performing standards. And also based on all those requests, we had to first understand the blockchain, understand the parameters, and then we digest those different requests for our developers and for the customers too. So it was a year and a half, almost 2 years ago, we were advised by our advisors saying that you're in crypto. Why don't you make it decentralized? So why don't you open up the framework and experience how it will be if other developers want to build on top of a Chainbase's framework? So that's what we did. We did some experiments with some developers and see if they're interested who for those of developers who want to build with us. And the experiment was really successful. We started to have more and more developers on board. They are kind of forking what we had. And then we decentralize even more. So right now we become this whole AI native hyperdata network. So what we really want to do is transform those fragmented on-chain data into more structured, verifiable, and easier to be consumed data sets with the help from the communities. So this really is to cater to the AI agents now is a huge topic, right? We need AI agents to have a better inference. And we have all those different dApps who need on-chain data, but maybe they just need small parameter of data. They don't need a whole amount of data. So we want to make sure that the data they have is clean and also accessible, also usable for their applications, and also developers who want to build more dashboards or analysis and etc. So what we're hoping to do is build with the developers to make sure those on-chain data are much more accessible.
Yeah, like how you're saying too, all that data, especially in the blockchain world, is pretty insane. And it's easy to think, oh, why can't anyone just go on, I don't know, Etherscan and get that data they want to see of all the transactions that ever happened. But to parse through all that data, aggregate through that data, understand it, and even pick out the limited scope that you want, or even make sense of it, is very, very time consuming and very, very heavy lift for anyone to just pick up and do.
Yeah, and I think right now AI agents have been doing a really good job too. For AI agents, a lot of time what we're talking about is like someone just to use OpenAI API,
Yeah.
plug into AI agents or give you trading bots. So really, it's not serving the AI agent standards that we've been expecting or we've been told about, right? That's what we're hoping to do is providing that Web3 data that is actually usable and also it's better for inference. So when you have AI agent who give you analysis about certain token or certain project, it will be better to combine Web3 and Web2 data. Web3 data, that's the on-chain data. Web2 data, that's the facts, that's the news, that's announcements. So when we have all those two compilation all together, give the users a much more holistic way of understanding what the project is, who have the biggest amount of tokens, what kind of a news impacted what kind of a trade. This is what we're hoping to drive to, is having that AI agent to be really intelligent in order to spit out the news that's related to this specific project.
And what drove you to work on Chainbase? I mean, it sounds like you're so in tune with the problem, in tune with the environment, and you really want to solve it. And I want to learn more about your history of how you got into
Yeah,
it and
yeah,
why you're trying to solve this.
yeah, because they pay me.
The simple answer.
But that's incentives. So my background was also in finance. You and me talked about this before we started recording. I was a banker, former banker for 10 years in a traditional Web2 company, in a Web2 banking system. It was nothing about hedge fund. I didn't know anything about DeFi. I didn't know anything about investment banking. I was more in the real estate financing. So if you ask me about, financing a real estate in downtown Denver, Colorado, I might be able to tell you, but I can't tell you about like which stock give you the most derivatives. So, but anyways, because I was based in Denver, and East Denver was the one of the biggest
Nice.
festivals, right, every year. So I was already thinking about exiting banking for a while. I didn't want to be a young banker to become an old banker and just to figure out something else, explore the outside world. And also I wanted to go to different world, like different countries, to explore what the culture is, what they do for living and stuff like that. So when I was back in banking, I didn't have that experience. I had the platform in that specific area, but it wasn't expanding to other countries. So I didn't feel as international or as staying ahead of the game. And then I went to East Denver. I spoke to a lot of different projects without knowing what crypto was about, and I wasn't really looking for a job either. It was more of a what is this thing? And then after I spoke to, I still remember, I can't, I think his name is Darren from Chainlink. They had a booth. I was asking him where I could learn about crypto, what was blockchain, and etc. So they actually guided me with a lot of different sites that I can get on, or different YouTube channels I can learn from. And I started to do some diggings after work. I will go take some free classes, and then I learned about the infrastructure very well, and things after another. Just to go into crypto conferences, I met a girl who is a very very special person in my crypto life, and she introduced me to Chainbase. And Chainbase is based in Singapore. I always wanted to. I was born in China. I moved to United States when I was 14. So I always wanted to work for an Asian company because I never had the experience before. I wanted to bring my language, um, my language, like multilingual
Yep.
talents, and also my experience in banking in the United States as well to this company. And we had, for this small team, I had 4 interviews, which was okay, which was good. It was a little draining, but I really liked the team, and I started with the Chainbase and started to take over the staking business, because we also had a staking business for validating different ecosystem at the time. And then I started to take on that responsibility and understanding much more about what nodes are about, and how we actually make money, and what are the yields, and etc. And then after that, understanding where the data comes from, and start to run some workshops with the developers for the ecosystems we run validator for. So kind of a one thing after another. And went through the whole life cycle of before token launch, during token launch, and after token launch. So Chainbase really gave me the whole complete life cycle of how the project goes from centralized to decentralized. So it's been great. It's been great.
That's a great like story of how many times I've heard people, like friends, people on the streets, whatever, in conferences asking, "How do I get involved in crypto?" I mean, just do what you did. You have to go to the conference,
Yeah,
meet people, talk,
really,
learn,
really.
get
Yeah.
curious.
And it was and after I decided I wanted to get into crypto, after I took all those free classes, man, LinkedIn was still my friend at the time. Even it still is, right? Because that's what I was used to, is LinkedIn, reaching out to people and looking for job opportunities. And that's not the thing in crypto. I did a lot of a resume, I wrote my cover letter, and it just
Old school, yeah.
I had my picture on it just in case they, like I can speak two languages. Not like that's a very special or anything, but yeah, I never landed an interview. It just because I didn't know anybody. And once we get into the conferences, and then you start to know people much more, and then kind of a one after another, the referral source became much more
Mm.
important than just sending resume up.
Yep. And it's also proof of work because as a human being, you have to prove in crypto that you can work, you do work. It's a lot of free work that you don't necessarily want to do, but that's how you learn. You have to prove yourself, and then someone will pick you up because they see value in you.
Oh my gosh, that is so true. It's a like in crypto, the lip work, it does not take you as long as in the Web 2 world.
Yep. 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 And now that you're in Chainbase, you're like fully like embedded into the ecosystem. You've learned so much, and now you're helping. You're contributing. That's you became a learner to a contributor, and you're still learning. Of course, everyone does. Next thing on your docket as a company is to look more into Axelar, and I wanted to hear more about the decision making into looking into Axelar as a possible solution for
Yeah.
Chainbase.
Yeah. So Axelar, I knew about Axelar long time ago when I was exploring the whole Cosmos ecosystem. But at the time, I didn't find the collaboration bullet points with Axelar. I just know about this project. I feel like they're kind of high up there for me, because I felt like it's very technical, and at the time Chainbase probably didn't really have that much of a collaboration opportunities with Axelar, because we ran our own nodes and we're already multi-chain. What's the point of doing bridging, and etc. But then what actually explored the opened up the whole gateway, it was after our token launch. So we had a pre-token, like pre-TGE for, I don't even know how long, for a while. And then finally We're ready for the token. We're ready for the community. We launched a token. It just went wild, and um it was much better than we expected during that cycle of crypto, which is not long ago, but in crypto, I feel like we launched 2 years ago.
Well, yeah, 1 month is like a year
I
in
know,
crypto.
I know. But then like we got launched on Binance Spot, and that was actually a great momentum. And then Bithumb actually launched us as well from Korea. So that's one of the exchanges in Korea. And then I started to look into XRP. I started into look into like, all right, so now we have this C token, that is our community token, right? That's our utility token. That is how we incentivize the developers and our early adopters. What's next? Like the token is there now, incentivization, but we also want to have more people know about Chainbase. And let's see where the trades are going. Let's see where the token holders are. So we didn't realize that we got big interest from Korean exchange as well. So right after that, I started to do more research about who are the token holders in Korea, or who are the token holders in Europe, in Asia in general. And like XRP is one of them. And then I looked into different projects who focus on those different kind of a bridging from Binance or BNB chain or Ethereum chain to XRP, or like to the to different blockchains, especially for the token perspective. And XLR is one of them, and I did some digging on the founder as well. So I'm based in Greece. One of the co-founders also is based in Greece. Um, and I started to learn more about, like, I trust a project based on the founders. And I started to learn more about these founders. I did some research about these founders. super smart guy. I haven't met him in person, but I'm very excited to actually have a conversation with him very soon. But and then I started to look into the protocols and the docs of Axelar, and that flagged some really good interest, like big interest from the Chainbase team regarding collaboration with them on bridging the C token from our chain, like from the BNB chain or Ethereum chain, base chain, to the other chains to explore different opportunities with the token holders.
And since Chainbase is heavy, it's a infrastructure for developers to use. Now, what is that experience like for someone like me? Say if I'm going to develop something and I'm looking for Chainbase as a solution, how would you sell that? Like, what kind of product would I need to be building for it to make sense?
Yes, that is a really good question. That's actually our one of the things that we've been thinking about for about 2 years, because our audience was always developers. And in crypto, even though we talk about onboarding new developers, but if you look at the reports, it's about the same amount of developers who are active on GitHub.
Mm,
So we already have about 20 to 30,000 developers who utilize Chainbase. Some of them are still very, very active, but we want to catch the broader network of audience in crypto. So then we started to incubate other projects. Like there's one project called Tops that we're incubating right now. The terminal is up right now, alive. It's tops.chainbase.com. So what we're hoping to do is what I mentioned earlier, combining Web 2 and Web 3 data all together. So right now we have all those different platforms. They such as, I'm not gonna name them, but if you sponsor this platform, they will make sure the KOLs will yap for you, and they will make sure that your announcements will get spread it out in the crypto Twitter.
mhm,
So we and then like we're also approached by those protocols to sponsor to pay for this ads. And one thing is that when you see those terminal, those platforms, it's very biased. You see what they want you to see. You see where the money is actually. So they pay for this big yap, and you see it. Um,
mm,
and we just didn't think that was a that service the whole intelligence of news of attention. So what we're hoping to do at the very beginning for incubating tops is more of a giving users that um, unbiased platform for getting news, where the attention really is, how to grab the early attention, how to grab the early news. So we designed it by incentivizing users who can spot the news early on. If the news actually gets spread out in the crypto space, become one of the hottest topics, then the user who spread out the news will get incentivized. And those
mm.
incentivization can be from the sponsors in the future, or it can be from Chainbase. So this is something we're still designing. But one thing we're hoping to do is, first of all, having that unbiased data out there that combined with all different users from all different news channels, so that the users get the earliest and smart attention first regarding the earliest news. And then what we hope to do is, since we're data driven, we want to use Chainbase's on-chain data analysis to combine with the Web2 data. So the facts and also the on-chain data all together. And then we can really provide good insights about how the crypto flows with different news, how the whales take action based on different news. So we can see the neural links all together. So that's what we're hoping to serve the community.
That's a lot to understand in terms of like data. I mean, as an individual who wants to contribute into the ecosystem, just looking, most people just look on the internet and browse the internet casually, and they can just find news articles or like maybe like hot topics that were just released or a new blog post that was released, and then report that to Chainbase as something that's new, and then how would that propagate through Chainbase, I guess, for the developer to pick up?
Yeah, so that will, once they share on crypto Twitter, they will just have to tag Chainbase or tag
Oh, okay.
us so that it feeds into the algorithm, and then that goes into our terminal, and that feeds in the back end into the infrastructure to the API.
Gotcha, gotcha. And then, okay, that makes it easier for developers to use your APIs to understand what's going on in the latest
Yes,
news.
yes, yes.
Oh, okay.
And
That's good. I
also
mean,
for those, we only um so we have to make sure all those news or early attentions are intelligent and legitimate. So
yeah,
we do have a in-house algorithm system that's set up. Just because this user spread out some sort of a news, it doesn't mean the news will get on the platform. The news needs to be on the top, like the top 20 or top 30. So the news need to be caught up by different users as well. So if there's just one user who spotted this news early, but it didn't make up to the leaderboard, then it's not considered as the top news, the topic, hot topic. So we want to make sure that it's actually grassroots style of the hot topic, uh, like a driving source.
that makes sense. And it's tough to also, like, nowadays with AI, you have AI generated content, AI generated bots who could spam Chainbase, and that helps prevent spammers and abusers of
Right.
AI to make news, to spread misinformation,
That is so
etc.
true. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Now, and that makes sense for Axelar's use case, where they can help, people who are incentivized with the token to be able to use a token across the whole ecosystem of crypto rather than just a single chain.
Yes, and I know XLR. Another thing I really like about XLR is they're also exploring different things. So I know that they're exploring, stable coins or RWAs and etc. So as Chainbase, because we wanted to make sure the data also serves on that audience as well, like RWA or like different kind of on-chain data, like those wrapped ETF data on chain
Hmm.
or stablecoin data on chain. We're also exploring, we have a research team who is diligently doing the research on what kind of a data we can provide to this ecosystem. And I know XLR is also really, really forward thinking about RWA and stablecoins. So I'm very keen to collaborate with them to see what will be some sort of a collaboration opportunity for us.
Yeah, XR is definitely always on the forefront of everything new in crypto and always ready to build. They're not stuck in one way, so
No, no,
it's
they're very smart people, and I'm so excited for our future collaboration too.
same. Now, Chainbase is in an awesome position right now. What is next for Chainbase?
Yeah. So as I mentioned, stablecoin is a big thing for us. RWA is a big thing for us, and we also been exploring different pay-fi opportunities as well, just because of the regulations across the world. We felt that it's been it's good that we have a good, like we have policy makers making moves on the regulation of crypto, on how to make it more accessible or giving more clarity about how the users are actually being able to, how are they using crypto or how are they not be able to use crypto, etc. So we're really keen to explore more on that regulation part in order to explore our next thing. But right now, RWA and stablecoins are the big thing for us to understand what kind of data that we should be integrate into our network. And the second thing is the PayFi. So um, in order for us to have this true decentralized person to person or business to business ecosystem, what we're hoping to design is that the PayFi by using C token as the underlying utility. How are we able to empower the payment system around the world as well? So combine those three things. So that's our next move, our research thesis right now. But another thing is tops. The tops, we're still having that separate team to explore with the Web2 news, with the hot topics. How can we combine with AI data or AI native data all together, and we can feed it to different AI agents. So our also next thing is to explore the invariance with the different AI agents to see how practical it is for us to combine those two knowledge together to feed the AI agents, and test it out if that's actually will be adopted by mass adoption.
It's an exciting roadmap ahead. I feel like you have so much to work on, and it's going to take a bit of. Oh, it's going to take, I guess, in real time, not that long, but in crypto years, it'll feel like a long time.
Well, I think it's a we have a strong team, but also need to prioritize what
Yep.
we're needing to do tomorrow and next week. I think that's the hard part in crypto too, is the narrative
Yeah.
changes so much, and sometimes we got stuck with the narrative, but forgot about what we're actually building. So this time, and that's actually why we prepare for TGE for way too long, because we chased the different dreams, but then we're like, no, our core
Yeah.
is the
It's
data, our core is the data, so we should build what we're building and expand on top of that. So we made some mistakes, but we also gained from the mistakes too. And at this point, the team really wanted to take a step back. We incubated tops, and let's see what we can build on top of tops. And again, stablecoin and RWA, it's a hot topic, but also it's a useful topic too. So that's why we're exploring what we can do from the data side to accelerate the narrative of stablecoins.
It's so true when like the narrative changes in crypto so much and so heavily. Like stablecoins is the big hot topic now, so everyone's trying to get into that and trying to figure that out. And it's really says it speaks a lot for your team that they're able to take a step back, be self-aware of what's going on, and really build what they came here to build, and not just fall
Yeah,
into the narrative blindly.
I just wanted to say our CEO, our founder has been, I know he's been going through a lot too along the years with the project and the token launch, etc. One thing that we did really well was we took a step back, and each team member has a topic to do research about. And I had the research on regulations. Someone else had the research on stablecoin. Someone else had the research on GameFi. So the team, no matter if you're from marketing or no matter if you're from product, we all came together and we all had a conversation about what our research was about. And from infrastructure, from hyperdata network, what can we build on top of those? Does it make sense? So it was a really good conversation for the whole team, and it's a good team building, but also help us understand where the technology is and how we can allocate the resource into specific things.
Thank you so much for your team. Thank you so much, Luki, for like building something that's I feel like going to be used underneath the core of AI, and you just have no idea it's even there. So it's exciting to see Chainbase building something so fundamental for crypto, for AI, for new tech, and I love hearing your story of getting involved and becoming such a strong contributor. So thank you, and I'm excited for Chainbase.
Thank you so much. Now I'm excited for Chainbase and Axelar all together. It'd be great.
Thank you.